See here, both are not mandatory. Routing and bill. Both are not a mandatory. So without bill we can create a job, and without routing also we can create a job. But here problem is what? If you want to calculate a cost, so we can't calculate the cost. Why? Because we can't identify what are the raw materials we used, what are the resources we use. That is the problem. But we can produce the finished good and we can maintain the stock in our organization. Right. So let me show you quickly. Just see first, then you write it. So I'm creating one new item. Just see, understand. Inventory, items, master, items, organization. SZ, computer 100. SZ computer 100. It's a finished good. Apply template, finished good, done. Save the form, then assign item to the organization. Save it. So finished good created, but I'm not going to create any components. I'm not going to create any, that means bill and routing. Directly go to work in process, discrete, discrete jobs, select new, some work order number. Here I'm whatever system generated, I'm following that. Select assembly. So system is showing routing does not existed for this assembly, and also bill also not available. That already we know. Select released, start quantity 10, start date, some date you selected, save the form. See here, you can't find any operations and also you can't find any components. Why? Because no bill, no routing. But I want to produce. Just change the status to the manually. Earlier, system was changing automatically status to the complete. Now manually I am changing the status complete. Note down the work order number. Close this form. Then go to completion transactions. Without creating move transaction, directly I am creating the completion transactions. Select work order number. See, available to 10. Select continue. So sub inventory, finished goods sub inventory. Select 10 quantity. Select button, done. You will have the 10 on hand in your inventory. But problem is what? So costing problem here. So we can't calculate. Why? Because this job doesn't have any components and any resources. That is the problem. Okay. Now I'll ask you a question. So regularly will not produce same finished good. That can be different. In this case, we can't see for one time, second time. Sorry, one or two twice it is required. So we can't maintain bill and routing, right? That is not possible. Every day producing some different finished good using different components. So maintenance wise, bills and routing, is it possible? It's not possible, right? That is not easy. Every day creating new bills, every day creating new routings. So if you suggest to your client, so whenever you want to produce finished good, so you have to create a bill, you have to create a routing. What he will ask you, so only this is the only one time you are going to produce this one. Unnecessarily, why we have to maintain bill and routing? Anyway, tomorrow we will not use. Why we have to maintain? So then what you have to so the solution, what you have to suggest them? What is the way? Now I shown you. So if you don't want to create any bill and routing, directly create a work order. But immediately we'll ask the question, right? If I follow this one, then what about cost calculation? So then what we have to do? There is one solution is there. Manually we can add the only against that particular job without creating bill and routing for the particular work order. Manually we can add the components and operations. That is possible, right? Continue. Manually assign components manually assign components and standard operation to the DJ. Manually assign components and operations to the discrete job. Step 1. Create finished good. Create finished good. Navigation, inventory, items, master items. Inventory, items, master items. SZ computer 200. Something you select it. Apply template, tools, copy from finished good, apply, done, save it, assign item to the plant, save the form, close the form. Next. Create DJ. Navigation, whip, discrete jobs. Whip, discrete jobs. Discrete jobs. Select new, generate some work order and select assembly, and routing is not available, bill also not available. Change the status to the released. Start quantity some 10. Start date something you selected. Save the form. So work order is created. Now I don't have any operations, so this bill doesn't have any components. So now I have to manually need to assign whatever components required, whatever operations required. So how we can? Just note down the bill, job number, close this form. Assign standard operations to the DJ. Assign standard operations to the DJ. Assign standard operations to the DJ. Navigation, WIP, job or schedule details. WIP, job or schedule details, operations. Job or schedule details, operations. Operations. So enter your job number, select job number, select button, find. Select button, find. Select button, find. sequence number 10. It is the operation sequence number 10. So whatever operations you created, you can find all the operations. Now I define only two. You select operation and next 20th operation. Okay. Save the form. Save the form. Same, I am assigning this operations to what? Finished good or work order? Work order, not finished good. If assigning to the finished good meaning, whenever you create work order, always this operation has to default to the work order. I am not assigning to the work order. I am not assigning to the finished good. I am assigning to the work order. Only this operations applicable for this work order. Particularly, right? So then, and here you can find a already resources we assign to the operations, right? You can find a resources, or you can add the some other resources also. Next, continue. Assign components to the DJ. Assign components to the DJ. Assign components to the DJ. Navigation, WIP, job or schedule details, material requirements. Job or schedule details, material requirements. Enter job number, select button, find. Now you select the components, whatever components you want to assign. So it is what? CPU. Against which operation? 10th operation. Already operations assigned to the work order, right? So that is the reason available in the LOV. Next, here quantities. How much quantity? One quantity. Supply. Which supply you want to use? Manual or whatever we discussed. Anything you select it, not a problem. Select assembly pool. Sub inventory. Whatever details we selected in the bill, here I am selecting directly. Only that is the difference. So material 1. It is available in finished goods sub inventory, right? Okay, next. Likewise, what are the components required? Something monitor. What? Changing supply type. Okay, not a problem. So 10. Supply type assembly pool. Sub inventory. Some sub inventory you select it. Save the form. Just example, I selected 2 components. As required, you can select all the components, whatever required. Now you close the form. Next, continue. Now just see, understand, discrete jobs. Work order number, select button, find. So what happened here? 2 operations are there. Components are there. These are our components not defaulted from bill. Why? Because bill is not available. Operations also available, but those not from routing. Why? Because routing is not available. So, this is complete manual process. So now every time it is different, vary maintaining operations and components from one work order to another work order. Better you follow this process, right? Instead of creating bill and routing. Same, when you have to maintain bill and routing regularly, if you are using same components, same operations. If I am not using regularly same operations, same routing, so the same components, better this is the way is easy way, right? Easily you can complete the production process. Okay. Now next process is what? Creating move orders and creating completion transactions. Right. This is the one. Okay. I'll ask you a question in different way. Already routing is available. Three operations are there. Regularly, 99% will use these three operations only. Very rare for 100 jobs will use the one a new operation. That is only particular operation will use for one work order. Now we will have totally how many operations? Four operations. Now routing will create with three operations or four operations? Three operations. Whenever it is required, I want to use another fourth operation. Then what you have to do? Same process. Here now I added all. Whenever it is required to update existed operation, add new operation, remove existed operation, same only. That operations form, you go to there and you can do whatever you want. For both things, answer is same only. And components case also. Bill is existed, I want to add one extra component, or I want to remove existed component, or quantity details I want to update. What is the process? Material requirements. Same. Okay. So, and one more thing. I don't want to add manually components to the work order. Bill is not available. Bill is not available. I don't want to add work components to the work order, but I want to maintain components for the discrete job. Then how? Hmm? Bill is not available. Also, I will not assign manually components to the work order, but I want to maintain a components to the work order. Nothing here. See, simple solution. Directly create a VIP issue transaction. We can create VIP issue transaction, right? Here now I assigned manually to the components. Then I will go for creating VIP issue transaction. Instead of assigning manually components to the work order, directly create a VIP issue transaction. Automatically components will assign to the work order. Yesterday I shown you, right? So directly we can create, not a problem. So I'll show you that one also. Supply sub inventory directly given in the form. Here I'll show you. Here already we given no this one. This is what supply sub inventory is. Okay, and completion sub inventory. So directly manually you can update in the work order. Here you can select manually. You can do it, no? If our routing is available, assign completion sub inventory to the routing. Here you will find by default. If not available, manually also we can select the finished good sub inventory. Not a problem. Okay. Next, I'll show you quickly that I don't want to assign manually. Discrete job, new, select work order, assembly, sorry, sz underscore computer 200, released, 5 quantity, save the form. Now components are not available, right? Okay, fine. I am not going to use this material requirements form to assign the components. Directly I am creating a WIP issue transaction. Work order, WIP issue, specific components, select continue, HZ underscore nut, some sub inventory. How much quantity? 10. Just I'm example I am telling you. HZ underscore bolt, same sub inventory, 20 quantity. Next, SZ underscore processor, select, done. Only 3 components as required. You select all the components, done. Close this form. Next, go to discrete jobs. Here components are available. There are different ways are there maintaining the components. Any question you want to ask here? If you are clear, then here I'll go to another topic. Hmm. Once again. That will be same. In number of times you returned that one. You create WIP issue transaction against existed bill. But now we don't have any bill, even though I'm creating the WIP issue transaction. Again, I'm creating WIP issue. Navigation WIP material transaction, WIP material transactions. Specific. Next. SZ underscore memory. Directly. When? If it is pushed directly, you can find all the components. But here I am selecting manual. Why? Because bill is not available. Only that is the difference. Okay, fine. It's okay. So now just check it your work order. You will find a. This is very easy, right? Now what I shown you earlier, you have to assign first components, then you have to create a WIP issue transaction. This is the one is with one shot directly we can transfer the quantity to the work order. Huh? Operations you have to add from the operations form only. There likewise you can't do that. Only for the components that option is available. See, all are available. The operations, if you want to maintain operations, one is routing, otherwise this operations form. Okay. So to create a work order, bill is not a mandatory, routing also not a mandatory. Then what about cost calculation? Manually we can assign components operations to the work order. Next question again. Is discrete job mandatory to produce a finished good? Another question. See now, first very beginning what we understand, so bill is required, routing is required, worker now bill is not required, routing is not required. Now I am asking, is work order mandatory produce a finished good? Without work order, So how we can maintain a what is the item you want to produce it? So how much, at least components. Then how we can identify? So what? Work order is mandatory, right? No, it is not a mandatory. Work order also not a mandatory. Without work order also we can produce the finished product. Without discrete job, without bill, without routing, we can produce the finished good. So this is called work orderless completion. Work order less meaning there is no work order. Work order is not available. Write it heading. Create work orderless completions. Create work orderless completions. Create work orderless completions. Navigation, WIP, material transactions, work orderless completion. Here meaning clear, right? Work orderless. There is no DJ. But I am going to produce it. Work orderless completions. Navigation, WIP, material transactions, work orderless. It is another transaction. Work orderless completions are another WIP transaction. Work orderless completions. Here, transaction type, WIP completion. When normally we'll create WIP completion, if already DJ is existed, right? But now I don't have any work order. Select assembly. Which assembly you want to complete it without work order? You select SZ underscore computer, any finished code. 200. So bill not available. Yes, we know that. Routing also not available. Yes, that also we know. So here schedule number. Just tab out. It is schedule number. It is not a work order number. We don't have any work order number. This is the schedule number. So next, quantity. How much quantity you want to produce? 100 quantity I want to produce. What is the completion sub inventory? Nothing but finished goods sub inventory. Just save the form. That's it. You will have the 100 quantity in your sub inventory. Components? No. Components we will take. Where you specified this many components required, this for production. So it will not take. So if you want to take, then again there is the button components. But it is not a mandatory again. It is not a mandatory. Normally, when you will go for this type of work order, small miscellaneous items in the organization themselves, they will produce some items internally. For that, they will maintain the work order. See, AC tunnels. Instead of purchasing from outside, they will themselves produce it. And racks for the organization purpose, maintaining the stock. This is the case, they will go for work order. Work orderless completions. See here. Inventory, on hand availability, on hand quantity. Its item is SZ underscore computer 200. On hand is available 100. Right. This is what work orderless completions. It nothing will happen. Only will have the on hand for finished good. If you want to track each and everything, what I shown you earlier, process discrete job, that you have to follow. Then see, in this case, work order created without using components. Then what you have to do now? You have to create miscellaneous issue transaction. This is completely manual. That also complete manual. It will not calculate here. Nothing. It will not happen. Why? Because how system is, it will not understand what are the raw materials used to produce the finished good. If you want to make it cost calculation, better you go for standard discrete job, or maintaining bill and routing, or manually assigning components operations to the job. Okay.
So instead of this, company can go for miscellaneous expenses. So products have been made for company use only.
Miscellaneous
Miscellaneous
receipt. Yes, they can maintain. Not a problem.
What is the difference between this?
See, they can maintain at least here miscellaneous receipt transactions. If you create, that is completely for adjustment. Not, it is not for new quantity. This is we creating for new quantity without work order. Hmm? Nothing will happen here in this case. Accounts will not impact. Hmm. Only that. This is, see, if you go with, at least you will have the record. This time this quantity will produce it. Miscellaneous receipt is, that is completely for adjustment. Meaning is, already existed quantity we adjusted. If I create miscellaneous receipt transaction or issue transaction, if I created work orderless completion, we produced new quantity. And one more thing here. Actually, work orderless completion also completed. Next what? So we are clear, right? We can create a rework. We can perform rework against standard discrete job. Yesterday I shown you that one. When, so until closing the job, you can create a rework against standard discrete job. It is already in closed. I'll tell you real time scenario. One customer requested for finished good, we produced and we sold out. What will happen? This work order status closed. Closed. You will change the status to the closed. Due to any reason, customer requesting something service required for this finished good. Then what you will do now? So you will take that finished good into your inventory. From there, from inventory, you will transfer to the shop floor. There you will perform the rework. In this case, which type of work order will create? Work order type. Non-standard discrete job. Non-standard discrete job, right? Okay, fine. So just I am telling you one real-time scenario. Here, quickly I'll show you how you can create a non-standard discrete job. Fine. Write it heading non-standard discrete job. Non-standard discrete job. Navigation. Sorry, step 1. Create WIP accounting class. Create WIP accounting class for the non-standard discrete job. Create WIP accounting class for the non-standard discrete job. Navigation. Navigation WIP setup. WIP setup. VIP accounting class. Already we defined one VIP accounting class. For what? Standard discrete job. Now I am creating non-standard discrete job. Select organization. Select SZ non-standard discrete job class. We have to select what? This there many types are there. Standard, repetitive assembly, asset non-standard, expense non-standard, standard lot based, maintenance, expense non-standard. So this two, this one and this one will use for what? OSFM, shop floor management, not for WIP. Remaining above will use for discrete. Already I use this one. Next there is asset non-standard, expense non-standard. So what is the asset non-standard? What is the expense non-standard? If giving, if re, if performing rework for what? Whatever items we produced for customer demand, based on customer demand. For that I'll use the asset non-standard, expense non-standard. For example, there is the printer. Printer, what type of item? As asset. Completely it is asset. For that we'll have the rework. Which type here you have to select? Expense non-standard. We sold out. Customer returned. We are going to perform a rework. Now which one you have to select? Asset non-standard. That is the difference. Here I am selecting asset non-standard. Select material account. Some account is selected.
Sir, can you explain asset non-standard once again? Because I lost the connection. Sorry.
Okay. So here there is I take an example printer. Printer is its asset item, right? So if anything perform rework on printer, in this case I'll select the expense non-standard. When customer returned product for the rework, in that case I'll select the type asset non-standard. Asset non-standard. Okay. Save and close this form. Okay. VIP accounting class is completed. Next what? Define, create non-standard discrete job. Create non-standard discrete job. Create non-standard discrete job. Same, when I am producing finished good, I'll follow all the operations, right? If available 10 operations, I'll follow the 10 operations. But for the rework, no need to follow 10. One particular operation only you have to follow. Out of 10, which issue related to electronics. As per routing, that is the third operation. So in the standard discrete job case, I'll follow first, second, third, fourth, something like that. But in the non-standard case, only third operation we have to perform. No need to perform above 2, after 6, not 7, not required. Right. So I'll show you that one. Okay, fine. Navigation, whip, discrete jobs. Whip, discrete jobs. Whip, discrete jobs. Select new, generate some job number. Here, type is what? Non-standard. Type is non-standard. What happened here? Assembly, it is mandatory, selecting mandatory for standard discrete job. Assembly selecting not mandatory for non-standard discrete job. It is not a mandatory. Getting right? So now, if you want, you can select, not a problem. See, you select against which assembly you want to perform a rework. So, for example, I want to perform a rework sz underscore computer. What is the rework? Here, what is the problem with this computer? So, monitor problem. I want to replace a monitor against this computer. But customer purchased 2 computers. Computer 1, computer 100, computer 200. Customer returned both, having problem with monitor. Then what you have to do? Huh? Customer earlier he was purchased computer 100, computer 200. Now both he returned. I want to perform a rework. So now, how will you create the non-standard discrete job? Will you create one non-standard discrete job against 2 finished goods? How? You keep it blank. You keep it blank. If I keep it blank, this work order created for computer 100, computer 200. How system will understand? Huh? You have to specify, right? This work non-standard discrete job created for with so and so finished goods, assemblies. How system will understand? We can do, not a problem. That means 2 non-standard discrete jobs you have to create, right? But we are not interested. Why? We same customer is same, right? With one work order will complete these 2 reworks. So okay, leave it, not a problem. If you want, you can select, otherwise leave it. So class is what? Non-standard discrete job class. So select released. Here, how much quantity? 2. One computer 100, another computer 200. Select 2. This is not a quantity for same finished good. This is the quantity is selected for 2 finished goods. And MRP net, why it is showing 0? Yield. You have to find 2, right? Why? See, we are not producing. We are performing the rework. Where will not find any new, again, newly yield. That is the reason 0. And for the standard discrete job, you can select either start date or completion date. Another date, automatically system will calculate. But for the non-standard discrete job, you have to select both manually. Any reason? Lead time we can maintain when we are first time producing. For the rework, we can't maintain the lead time. That is not possible. That is the reason both you have to select manually. Select completion date and start date manually. Next, anything you have to select here? Nothing, not required to select anything. Save the form. Then here components are available, not available. Why? Because here no bill, no routing. Then okay, fine. Note down the work order number, non-standard discrete job, close this form. Now
What about this supply type option?
Why supply types required? I am not selecting any components, no?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, against this work order, we have to issue computer 100, computer 200 from inventory to shop floor. How we can issue? Computer 100, computer 200. These two are finished goods. Now customer returned, already available in my inventory. From there I have to transfer to the shop floor. How I can transfer? So if you once again I'll show you this one. Now just see. Work order created. Against this work order, nothing available, anything. That must be on which finished goods they have to perform the rework. So they want to have that information. So I have to maintain here that finished goods. How? When you can find finished goods here? Huh?
By adding new products, if at all, any damages
I want to issue finished good from inventory to shop floor. What you will do? With completion? See, already, no, not WIP return. WIP return meaning is what? Component quantity issued to the shop floor, some quantity remaining that will return to the inventory. That is called WIP return. Now I want to issue from inventory to shop floor. What type of item? Component or finished good? Finished good. Tell me. Already I shown you rework. For the rework in the against standard discrete job, which transaction we created? WIP. WIP completion return, right? WIP completion return we created against standard discrete job. But here against non-standard discrete job for the components as well as finished good. Always we have to create a WIP issue transaction. WIP issue transaction. Right. Create WIP issue transaction. Create WIP issue transaction. So you don't confuse these transactions. Very important in the organization. Regularly they will manage these transactions. It is not rare. Navigation WIP, material transactions, WIP material transactions. So actually people remember, you will ask the question. So earlier we created WIP completion return. Now we are creating WIP issue transaction. Right? I think if people that you don't remember that one, what we discussed. Yeah, tell me something.
Yeah, so when customer returns, first we have to take into the inventory. Like for that, what transaction we have to perform?
RMA sales order.
Oh, from there it will come. Okay.
Here now we are discussing in the limited only. We are now you people who are completed order management. You people can understand easily this one.
Okay.
Okay. First to return RMA, but for the new batch people, you will understand that RMA is in order management. Okay. Navigation WIP material transaction, WIP material transactions. Select work order, WIP issue, specific components, select, continue. So this work order created for how many quantity? 2, right? One is computer 100. From which sub inventory? Finished goods sub inventory. 1 quantity. Next one SZ underscore computer 200. Finished goods sub inventory. How much quantity? 1. Select button, done. Now clear, right? We'll have the information work order created with 2 different finished good that you can identify. Go to discrete jobs, work order, here components. See, this work order created for 100 and 200. If you can select, not a problem, but a work order I want to create with multiple finished goods. So in this case, you follow this way. Okay, now which operation you have to perform? I don't want to perform all the operations. I want to perform only particular operation. Then what you have to do? Continue. Add operations to the non-standard discrete job. Add operations to the non-standard discrete job. Non-standard discrete job. Navigation. WIP. Job or schedule details. Operations. WIP. Job or schedule details. Operations. Select work order number. Select button find. Operation number 10. Testing. Save the form. Only two operation is available. I am selecting this way, right? Then close this form. Now what will happen? Again, see the job details. Work order number. So here performing rework on this two in which operation? Testing operation. This is enough. Actually, to produce finished good, I am following 10 operations. But only perform rework in this operation enough. For the rework, we will no need to perform all the 10 operations, right? For the rework, we will perform only 1 or 2 operations, whatever operation, where this finished goods having problem. Particular those operations only we have to perform.
New components are added.
If you want to add any new components, and so this one, see, in some case, sometimes after selling the item to the product, manufacturer will recall all the products, will add to the some new feature. That also it comes under rework only. That also comes under rework. Now I want to add some new components. Then what you have to do? Why? Again, you have to track that what components you added to these two finished goods. You have to track it, right? That WIP issue transaction only again. Create WIP issue transaction for the new components. Again, you will find. So I'll show you that one also. Write it. Continue. Create WIP issue transaction. Create WIP issue transaction. To transfer new component quantity from inventory to shop floor. See, if it is replace, what will happen? I want to replace. What will happen? Components you will transfer from inventory to shop floor. Again, you have to return, remove components. But in this case, returns, WIP returns are required? Not required. In this case, completely we are adding to the product. It is new component. Complete. Navigation, WIP, material transactions, WIP material transactions. WIP, material transaction, WIP material transactions. Select work order, WIP issue, select specific component, select button, continue. Select some item. So it is complementary for the my customers actually. I recalled all the whatever sold out to my customers. We are adding new components to the whatever customer returned. So here something monitor screen. Earlier it was not provided. Now we are asking to the customers will provide the monitor screen with free of cost. So that is the reason we recalled all the computers. Select OK. So how much quantity? Against which operation? Only one operation. It is 10 operation is the testing department. Testing operation. How much quantity? 2. Select button. Done. Select button. Done. Close it. Close the form. Next, what we have to do? Already components and finished goods we transfer to the shop floor, and we specified which what type of rework we have to perform. That mean nothing but operation, right? Now will system allow, next step is what normally? Huh? So will you create move transaction for this non-standard discrete job? Move transaction we created for standard discrete job, right? In the same way, will you create move transactions for non-standard discrete job? This is another question. Huh? One operation. That only I want to maintain. That is enough, right? So will system allow you maintaining move transaction against non-standard discrete job? Move transactions. Work order is here. See what happened. Non-standard job has no assembly, no transactions allowed. Why it is showing? Assembly is not selected. If assembly selected, you can create move transaction against non-standard discrete job also. Clear, right? What I am telling you. Assembly I removed, right? Why? Because I want to perform with multiple finished goods rework. If assembly is existed against, you can create a move transaction against non-standard discrete job also. That you remember. Or you people, you try it. You create another non-standard discrete job with assembly. Then you same follow process and you create a move transaction. Next what? Next step is what? So move transactions are completed. Just you assume. Move transactions are completed. Next step what? That means what? Rework is completed. Rework is completed. Next. Huh? Why completion transaction is coming? Completion transaction required for only standard discrete job. Why? Because we produce new quantity. It is not a newly produced quantity. So you have to create WIP return for finished good. You have to create a WIP return for, correct it. Create WIP return for the finished good. FZ. Create WIP return for FZ. Navigation, WIP, material transaction, WIP material transactions. WIP material transactions, WIP material transactions. Select work order number. Select. Just a minute. I'll come back. Just see. Don't write it. Okay. Discrete jobs. Work order number. Here components. Totally available 3, right? These 2 are finished good. This one I am adding to this finished good. Now under quantities, it is available 1, 1, 2. Correct, right? Now I'm going to return what? Which are the items I'm going to return? 100 and 200. Next, screen. Going to return or not required? Huh?
No, not required.
It is not required. I'm completely adding to the finished good. I'm not replacing here. I'm adding new component. That is the reason only I'll return this one and this one. I'll not return this one. Right. Continue. With completion, return. This is what whip return. Select specific component, select button, continue. Select item. Which are the items? SZ underscore computer 100. Sub inventory. Finished goods sub inventory. But normally real time will maintain another sub inventory called returned sub inventory. Real time. 10th sub operation. How much quantity? 1. Next one. SZ underscore computer 200 is sub inventory. Finished goods sub inventory 10. 1 quantity. That's enough. I'm not going to return screen guard. That already we added to the monitor screen. Select button, done. That is what non-standard discrete job. Again, that you will ship to your customer. Whatever quantity required. Okay, this is the one. Another case, I'll tell you one scenario.
Sir, just a minute. How do you transfer that? You mentioned that in this case, because we have not selected the assembly, we cannot move the transactions.
Yes.
We cannot use the move transaction feature. So in this case, how we move the transaction?
Yeah, that
Because we have not.
Yeah, here go to discrete job. So along here you have to select assembly, then system it will allow you. But earlier case assembly was not selected.
So that's why I'm saying we have not selected the assembly. So how we will move the transactions?
That is the reason system was stopped. No, I didn't do anything. Move transactions.
Oh.
Just I told you, you assume here completed.
Okay.
I didn't do that. Move transactions. If you want to do move transaction against non-standard discrete job, select assembly. Okay. Next, I'll tell you one scenario. You tell me a solution for this. Just assume it. It is what granite quarry mining. Here raw material is what? What is the raw material? What is the finished good? So stone is the raw material. Finished good is what? So tiles. Granite tiles. Granite stone, granite tiles. Now you tell me how you can manage this work order, discrete job and complete process. You tell me. Here, granite stone is the component. Granite tile is the finished good. Finished good, right? So how will you decide what is the area of this granite tile? How will you decide? Will you maintain directly? Will you define items? This is 1 into 1 square feet, or 1 into 2 square feet, 2 into 4 square feet, or 1 into 2 meters. Will you define likewise items in your inventory? Hmm? See here, one more thing we have to understand how this tile size bigger. Based on that, we'll have the price of the item. That will be price used in the market. When tile is size is less, that price will be less. If size is bigger, also price will be higher in the market. So now how as a manufacturer, how I will plan it, I'll try to maximum cut it into bigger sizes only, right? Then how it is possible? Based on the stone only, based on the stone only. In this is the scenario. So once you understand, you can apply this for anything, not a problem. So you tell me, this is the scenario, what are the way we have to follow? How we can define bill?
Based on sizes, what I'm using the stone sizes.
Hmm.
I will divide into component wise. Component 1, component 2, component 3. These are sizes.
Bill, how you can define it? Bill.
I will measure the stone sizes.
Okay.
I will allot to some category.
Okay.
Component 1, component 2. After that, I will define the operations. What size each.
Okay, we got a one raw stone. So with that, already our estimator. So he suggested with this stone, with this size, 2 into 4 meters, we can get it some 50 pieces, and with 1 into 1, some 100 pieces we can get it. Now you tell me how we can define your bill.
Two jobs can come. One standard, like setting the sizes.
At a time only we have to cut it again. Two work orders not required. Already we transferred the stone completely from quarry to cutting. That means shop floor. There only they will decide it. So the first they will cut it into bigger size pieces. Then whatever scrap is there, from there they will cut it into 1 to 1 or 1 into 1 square feet. At a time it will happen. They will not create multiple work orders. If creating multiple work orders, what will happen problem? Whatever scrap we yielded, again we have to return to the inventory. Again you have to create another work order. That scrap they have to transfer from inventory to shop floor. That is again, it is we have to perform multiple transactions. Not required. At a time only, if I cut it into 2 into 4, 1 into 1, it is better, right? With less transaction, we can complete the work order. Okay. So here, thing is bill, how we can define? Bill, I am talking about bill. How we can define the bill? Now finished goods are 2 into 4, 1. 1 into 1. 2 finished goods we are going to get it. But raw material is same. Raw material is same. In this case, how we can manage this situation? Totally 150 pieces we are getting. Okay, I'll tell you another scenario, simple scenario, where we'll cut it iron plates into small sizes, different shapes. It is fabrication organization. So we are having some huge size of seats, iron seats, based on customer requirement. What customer ordered, what shapes they ordered. This iron seat will cut it into different sizes, some whatever they ordered quantity. In this case, tell me. Same, equal to almost same only. That is the reason. One, you understand. So this type of cases in any business, we can follow the same process only. Here, what is the raw material? Iron sheet. Finished goods are what customer ordered, what shapes they ordered, diamond shape, circle shape, or something, whatever they ordered. Hmm? And also here one more thing you have to understand, yielding finished goods along with some another also yielding what, right? What is that? Scrap iron. It is loss, scrap iron. So that also you have to track it, right? Why? Because so this will have the value in market. I can sell to my customers. That is the reason this one also you have to track it. You have to account it, that one also. And in the granite case also, after cutting 1:1, I will have the scrap. If having that also value in the market, that also you have to account it. Right, that we can use crushing in small stones, making some what is that? What type of tiles? Something like that. For that also we use, right? That also you have to track it. One you understand one scenario, remaining almost all same only. Right here I am taking the iron sheets. You tell me how we can meet this requirement. Right, first write it. And here a different scenario, and also I am going to track the scrap. Till now we didn't track any scrap here. Huh? Anything, but that you must track it. That is important. Tracking is important here. That what you will do, you will sell in the market, or you will reuse in our same production. And you better take the example gold ornaments. Again will whatever scrap we yielded again will melt and will use in same production, right? Right. So whatever this in the shop floor yielding, now we are using the term it is scrap, but it is what? Byproduct. It is called byproduct. Byproduct, scrap, both are same only. Petrol? Maybe. So in between we can get some kerosene, diesel, gas. So this all, see, our main purpose is petrol. But remaining whatever we are getting all are the byproducts only. Byproduct also will have the huge value in market. Okay. You don't think it is scrap, it will have the less value or it is not useful. So scrap also, byproduct also will have. And also one more thing, sugarcane juice. What is the byproduct here? Cane pulp. That also having value, right? That is in using paper manufacturing, right?
When we take into normal, the cost of the product will go up.
What?
When we take into account the cost of the product will go up, and the normal loss, whatever the stock, whatever the scrap we are having, that will be considered into normal loss component.
Scrap account only, okay? Scrap account only.
We, my product, deferred value will be having that.
No, I'm not getting it.
I'll explain it.
Okay, fine. You write it, heading is byproduct. In the byproduct only, I'll show you whatever we discussed all. Byproduct. Heading is byproduct. Define finished good. Define finished good. So here you have to maintain some unit of measure conversions. See, each and every time I can't define my raw material is iron plate only. Sometime it will have different sizes. That is the reason you have to maintain a unit of measure conversions. But in simple way, I'll show you this one. Define finished good. Finished good. Navigation. It is byproduct heading. Under that we are following the steps. Navigation, inventory, items, master items. Inventory, items, master items. SZ underscore. So here I am selecting 1 into 1 SFT, iron sheet, iron plate, something like that. Apply template. This is what? Finished good, right? Apply. Likewise, we'll cut it this bigger size iron plate into different sizes. I am taking one example, 1 into 1 SFT. Save the form. Assign item to the organization. Save it. Then close the form. Next, define components. Define component. Navigation, inventory, items, master items. Inventory, items. What is the component here? SZ underscore. Some here, just I am taking example, 10 into or 5 into. So 5 into 10. Square meter iron sheet. Then apply template. Which template? Purchased item, right? It is raw material. Raw material, this one. Apply. Done. Save the form. Assign item to the organization. Save it. See, first beginning scenarios, what are very easy. But this little some complex, difficult to understand. You understand this one, then this one also. So you feel comfort. So maintaining in all organizations, similar kind of businesses. Next one, define byproduct. Define byproduct. Nothing but scrap item. Navigation, inventory, items, master items. SZ underscore scrap iron. Go to tools. You select not a problem, purchased item, not a problem. Apply. Done. Save the form. Then assign item to the organization. Save it. Close the form. And one more thing. Yeah, continue first, write it. Here we have to adjust on hand for which item? 5 into 10 iron sheet. Adjust on hand for component. Adjust on hand for the component. Adjust on hand for the component. Navigation, inventory, transactions, miscellaneous transactions. Miscellaneous receipt. Select item SZ underscore 5 into 10 sub inventory raw material 1. Any sub inventory, select some 100 sheets are adjusting. Select inventory clearing account. Save the file. That's enough. Against this only will get a finished good as well as scrap byproduct. Close the form. Next, define bill. Define bill. Navigation, Bomb, bills, bills. Bomb, bills, bills. Bomb, bills, bills. What I have to select here? This one here. What we have to select? Which good is what? 1 into 1. SZ underscore 1 into 1. Here, what I have to select? Hmm? Which one? SZ underscore 5 into 10. How I have to select it here? Basis type? Item or lot? Lot we have to select, right? Why? Because in one seat we can produce multiple 1 into 1 seats. Fine, this one. And here material control. Assembly type, supply type. You select anything, not a problem. But here I am selecting push. Here I am. It's better you select assembly pull. Okay, fine. Supply sub inventory, raw material 1. Next one, what I have to select? That also we have to select, right? Scrap. SZ underscore scrap iron. Here what I have to select? Basis type, lot or lot only, right? Here also you have to select lot only. And how much quantity? Huh? How one? Huh? Hmm? How? Actually, here, if you select unit of measure kgs, better that is the option. But it's okay. Now you people think it is kgs only. Okay? How many kgs? I'll get a some 2 kgs. I'll get a. So is it correct? I'm expecting. So that loss, that expected scrap will be 2 kgs. Is it possible expecting? Say, no, I'm not. See, expecting always same. It's not possible, right? Same 2 kgs of scrap. Now, it is iron sheet. We are cutting 10 pieces. Now we got a 2 kgs scrap. Next time also same size of the iron plate. I am cutting 10 pieces. Will you find it same scrap 2 kgs? That will be different. Why it is different? See, producing same. Raw iron sheet also same. But scrap quantity will be different. Why? Why it is happening? Based on?
New design.
Same, not this new design, same only. So that depends on resource again, problem. Resource. See, there you available 2 cutting machines, 2 different human resource. Based on that people also, that yield will be different, right? That is the reason. This is just expected only. It is not actual. This is what? Definitely here what I decided, that only seat I'll transfer to the shop floor. But this one can be different. Once uh, iron sheets are cutted into some 1 into 1 SFT. But how system will know this is the byproduct? There we selected component as well as byproduct. How system will know this is the byproduct? Hmm? Not how for the byproduct also I applied purchased item template only, no? Here you have to maintain a negative. You have to maintain negative sign. That is the reason we can say it is negative component. Better you write it at the top, you written byproduct, right? In the bracket, write it negative component. Negative component. It is negative component. Save it. Save the form. Then close it. Close the form. So in the same way, and one more thing. One more thing. Just a minute. SZ underscore 1 into 1 SZ. Here, material control. Which one we have to select? Huh? Which one? So this one. Sorry, supply type. Which one you have to select supply type? Hmm? Push. Why? Because we can't expect it. How much we get a yield. So this one, if you want, you can select. Otherwise, directly in manual transaction, we can select it. Not a problem. Write it. Save the form. Next, close this form. Operation, if you want, you can create new. Otherwise, whatever existed assembling, you take nothing but it is cutting operation. Right. Create DJ. Create DJ. Navigation. Whip. Discrete jobs. Select new. What is the assembly? SZ underscore 1 into 1. So routing is not available, that I know already. If you want, you can create routing also, not a problem. Select released. So how much quantity I want to cut it? See, it is 5 into 10, right? Just assume you people with 5 into 10 maximum we can cut the pieces some 50. Example I am telling you. Maximum we cut it into 50. But we can't get it 50. Why? Because there will get a scrap yield. So maximum we can get it at 48. 2 kgs will be scrap. So that is what calculation. But I am creating what? 10 pieces. 1 into 1 SFT pieces. So select start date, and here based on bill only save the form. Then note down the, here we can find a components. See, one is it is negative component, this is normal component. Okay, fine. Now for the positive component available 100, for the negative component on hand is 0 in inventory. Okay, fine. Close this form. Next, add operations to the job. Why I am adding operations to the job? Routing is not available. If routing is not available, no need to perform this step. Navigation, whip, job or schedule operations. Whip, job or schedule operations. Select job number, select button find, or add one operation. It is cutting operation. Save the form. That's enough. Close the form. Next, continue. Create move transactions. Create move transaction. Navigation, whip, move transactions, WIP, move transactions. Select work order number. Select operation. Tenth operation to move. What is the mean? What does that mean? We already cut it into 10 pieces. Select button, save the form. Right. So cutting 10 pieces are available in to move intra-operation step. Now what I have to do, 10 pieces I have to transfer from shop floor to inventory, and remaining piece for component piece, that also you have to return transfer from shop floor to inventory. And yielded scrap 2.5 kgs yielded, that you have to transfer from where to where? Shop floor to inventory. That we have to do. Continue. Now see one just check it. Discrete job. Now components. Here quantity already one. Irrespective of your job quantity, always system is transferring one quantity only. Why? Because basis type is selected lot. Fine. Then continue. Next. Anyway, here not a problem. Why? Because supply type is selected assembly pool. That is the reason it is not a problem here. Okay, automatically it will update to here 1. Continue. Create completion transactions. Write it. Create completion transactions. Navigation, WIP, material transactions, completion transactions. WIP, material transactions, completion transactions. Select work order number, completion complete WIP completion only. Select continue. Sub inventory, finished goods sub inventory. So how much quantity you want to transfer? 10 quantity. 10 1 into 1 SFT pieces. Select button, done. Next what I have to transfer? Remaining piece, right? After consuming whatever piece available, that you have to return. For that, which transaction type you have to create? WIP return. Create WIP return transaction. Create WIP return transaction. Why? Because earlier I was issued from inventory to shop floor. Now I am returning. Navigation, WIP, material transaction, WIP material transactions. WIP material transaction, WIP material transactions. Job number. What is the transaction type? WIP return. WIP return. Select specific component. Select component. Which item you want to return? SZ underscore 5 into 10. So, no, first you return this one. 5 into 10. Against which operation? 10. What is the piece? How much piece you have to return? For example, it is 0.8 something 0.8. 0.8 I am returning. 0.8 piece I am returning. Select button, done. Select button, done. So now I transferred 1 into 1 SFT pieces I transferred, and remaining raw material iron sheet also I transferred. Next, what is the pending still? Scrap iron byproduct. Next, continue. Which transaction you have to create to transfer byproduct quantity from shop floor to inventory? Which transaction type you have to create? Huh? WIP return. When WIP return will come? If already issued from inventory to shop floor, then we can define it is not issued from inventory to shop floor, right? It is generated in shop floor. Huh? Continue, write it. Create WIP negative issue transaction. WIP negative issue, negative nothing but negative component. issuing from where to where? Shop floor to inventory. Why? Because this is generated in shop floor. WIP negative issue transaction. Navigation WIP material transaction, WIP material transaction. WIP material transaction, WIP material transactions. Select job number, year, transaction type. Select WIP negative issue. Select WIP negative issue. Always byproduct generate from where? Shop floor only. Select specific component. Select button, continue. Select button, continue. Select item. What is the item? SZ underscore scrap iron. Sub inventory, scrap sub inventory. From which operation? 10th operation. How much quantity? 2.5. 2.5. Expected loss it was 2, but actual 2.5. Select button, done. Select button, done. Close this form. Now see what happened in your discrete job. Just see, understand the information. Components it is completed. Components quantity 0.2. 1 completely we issued, but 0.2 available. Why? Because 0.8 returned. Now this is in negative. That means issued from shop floor to inventory. If you find it positive, issued from where to where? Inventory to shop floor. Now your on hand is 2.5 in your inventory. This have on hand 99.8. So everything is tracked. Clear, right? So this is now this applicable. This you can apply for this type of such type of business anywhere. Granite stone cutting, any type of industry. Right? So this is one scenario. Okay, fine. Today here I am stopping the class. Tomorrow I'll continue with different concepts.